Hey everyone, it's me Doomlink, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. It is the second part for the Let's Play, and in this recording we will be taking on the first dungeon of the game. So yeah, it's good to be back. I, again, have been focusing on Skyward Sword and A Link to the Past as of the last week, due to issues with my Wii U, so expect a continuation of that, at least until I get my Wii U organised, and then I can resume Breath of the Wild and Phantom Hourglass and all of that. But yeah, I'm always happy to be back in A Link to the Past anyway. This is a game that I was very much looking forward to playing, so here I am. I will get my chat up. Come on. My laptop is always atrociously slow these days. One day I'll get a new laptop. I just have other priorities at the moment, you see. In terms of, well, purchases. Anyway, as long as the laptop is functional, it does the job for me. Alright, so again, I have to position myself on the side of the shield to hit the enemy. It's really ridiculous if you think about it. I was talking about it in the previous video, but it seems to go against all logic that you aim for the shield instead of the sword to get your attack through, but anyway, the shield isn't functional, what can I say? So, again, just as something of a recap, after the previous video, we need to go and see Sahasrara. We're not going straight to the dungeon itself, but going to Sahasrara will take us very close to the dungeon. And we found the location of Sahasrara from some kid in Kakariko village. It was rather, or the person was rather nondescript in the sense that he didn't really stick out as a person who would be, you know, holding this information that we were looking for, so yeah, it was a little bit confusing for me. You would think that I would remember, seeing as though I only played this game like 7 months ago. But anyway, that's by the by. Our current objective is to head over to where that X is, and then the dungeon will not be too far behind. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. We will be doing the dungeon not long after reaching that X, in other words. We should be able to get all of it taken care of in this recording, that is my hope. As long as you're facing the guy shooting the arrows, you will be able to... Oh, for a second I thought I died. Usually, if you get hit by something and then you're suddenly stuck in one place, it means you're about to spin around and fall on the ground because you're dead. And I was thinking, well, I can't imagine taking that much damage from an attack like that. But yeah, anyway, what I was trying to say was that the shield doesn't really help to shield against physical attacks like swords and things like that, but... Or rather, you know... just little attacks, I guess. I'm trying to work out how to describe it, because when I say physical attacks, it almost implies that an arrow is not a physical object. Of course it's a physical object. Speaking of physical objects, you have a physical object right in front of you, Doomlink, so don't go waving your hand around. Anyway, yeah, it can block projectiles, basically. It doesn't block anything else. The shield, or at least as far as I'm aware anyway, this might not be true, but this is based on my possibly shaky memory. And take it with a grain of salt. But, yeah, the regular shield can block against arrows, but not against sort of... I don't really know what they're called. They're sort of like lasers, but not really. I guess you'd call them magical flames. You'll see them. The Zoras shoot them, and other enemies shoot them as well in the game. But those cannot be blocked by this particular shield. They can, however, be blocked by the next upgrade of the shield. And we get that shield by throwing this one into a specific pond and receiving an upgrade. It's a large red shield, and then there's also the mirror shield, which is the final shield upgrade of the game. Anyway, if you see where we are in relation to the X, you will probably be able to guess that this is our destination. And here we are. Making sure everything's alright with the recording, everything seems fine to me. At least I believe so. I am indeed Sahasrara, the village elder and a descendant of the 7 wise men. Oh really? Doom, I am surprised a young man like you is searching for the Sword of Evil's Bane. Not just anyone can use that weapon. Legends say only the hero who has won the 3 pendants can wield the sword. Do you really want to find it? See, I like this. In this game, the options that you are given mean the same thing, it's just you communicate it differently. That's what it should be in Skyward Sword. I refer to Skyward Sword because, again, that is a Let's Play that I'm doing alongside this one. And in that game, you're given really weird options. You obviously have one maybe 2 correct options, and then one other option in terms of dialogue with an NPC is just totally not the correct answer, and I don't even know how the story would progress if you were to select such an answer. In this case, you just choose whichever answer seems appropriate for you. I'm gonna say, of course, good. As a test, can you retrieve the Pendant of Courage from the East Palace? That is dungeon number 1. If you bring it here, I will tell you more of the legend and give you a magical artifact. Now, go forward to the palace. Rightio. Thought I might as well get some hearts here, and if we bomb this wall, I believe we do have 1 single bomb at this time. You can see that now that we've run out of bombs, we do not have bombs in our item list, because we indeed have none to explode, so yeah, we'll see what's in here. Looks like we're going to receive some money. Ah, more bombs, that's very good. We've just received 3. So it showed 3 on the screen. I just thought that that was a generic, you know, bundle icon, but no, actually, we literally received 3 bombs. So we got 100 rupees and 3 bombs. Technically 2, because we had to spend 1 to get in there anyway, so there you go. I'd say we've done fairly well. Now this Armos statue here will come alive. These guys are fairly easy to deal with because they are sent pretty far from you when you hit them successfully. That looked like 4 hits with the regular sword slash. Let's try it with a spin attack. I'm guessing 2 spin attacks will do it. Maybe even 3. Oh no, 2 will be sufficient. That's good to see. Now, I don't know exactly how to get to the palace, but it's one of those things that again you're not really going to struggle to manage. It's slightly harder to get to the dungeon here in the Dark World, but it's still not very complicated at all. As long as you make your way over to this side, you should make it. So I'm going to jump down here and then go up the stairs. We see where we are. Yep, we are heading in the right direction. That's right. So now that we have been given a new quest, we haven't just been given a quest to acquire the Emerald Pendant. We've also been shown the locations of the other 2 pendants after this one. And then the Master Sword. Of course, the Master Sword is not going to be acquirable until we have gotten these 3 pendants, because Sahasrara said that you require the 3 pendants in order to wield the sword. I think you can, maybe you can't even reach the sword until you have the 3 pendants, but we're not going to try because it would be a waste of time. So yeah, we're going to get those 3 pendants and then we will reach the Master Sword. That is the plan. Oops. There we go. Just gonna, if I am in a position to charge up a spin attack without any difficulty, I'll just do that. It's easy. Not a problem at all. Hello. May as well kill you too. I don't think these things ever drop anything. There we go, managed to... Oh no, they do drop things. Arrows. Now, arrows are not useful for us at this time, because we obviously don't have a bow to shoot them, but we will in the future, so it's good to have arrows. I'm so used to Majora's Mask where I always lose my stuff every time I reset the cycle, but I don't have to worry about that. If we have 30 arrows now, we will have 30 arrows when we get a bow in the future. I don't know exactly when we will get a bow. I can't remember if it's in this dungeon. I think it is. I think it's the item you get here. We might as well equip the boomerang in case we want to use that, because I don't think the lantern's going to be used immediately. It might be, but my thinking is not. So I think we start the dungeon by going in the center, or central direction. Would I say the center? Yeah, the central direction. Center? No, anyway, the center pathway, we'll say. I believe that's how we do this. Okay, there's going to be a big ball coming, which is the one you obviously cannot walk around, so I kind of fluked that in a way. I just happened to go at the right time, but yeah, you do want to watch out for that large one. I think this is the map. No, it's not. That was entirely optional, basically. I can't remember how many rupees we can hold here. I don't know if there are wallet upgrades in this game, simply because I don't remember. I unfortunately do not retain these sorts of things in mind. So, yeah, my belief is that there is no wallet upgrade in this game. As I understand it, you can hold 999 rupees, just automatically. There's no limit, which is great. I prefer that, because it always annoys me when I'm playing a Zelda game, just sort of making my way through the early game, and then I reach the cap. I always inevitably reach the cap, and I end up collecting like 200 rupees that I can't hold until I eventually upgrade my wallet. As far as I'm aware, that doesn't really happen in this game, and if I do technically have a limit in the early game here, it's a much higher limit Or in other words, the cap is higher. I've got some magic here, which is good. The reason why I'm doing spin attacks here is to limit this creature's opportunity to jump away from me. Stalfos, I guess I would call that thing. Yeah. Could call him the skeleton. We'll call him the skeleton. So the skeletons, when you attack with a regular slash, will actually jump away from your sword and successfully get away from it in time. Whereas if you do a spin attack, somehow it just manages to catch them before they can jump away, so that's the reason why I do a spin attack there. Can't remember... Oh, I can actually use pots to kill these guys. That's another way to kill them without them jumping. Although it is a little difficult to kill them if you can't aim worth a fuck. Okay, I really can't aim worth a fuck. We've made our point now. I'll actually demonstrate what happens when they jump away from you. You can see, even if he's against a wall, it can be hard to kill him with a regular slash, so it's just easier to get a spin attack on the go. And that would be my recommendation to you. Alright. So I guess any room where you have bones on the floor, you can expect skeletons to appear. That would be my guess. I'm not going in any specific direction right now, I'm just going wherever I feel is correct. It's not, again, this is dungeon number 1, it is not going to be complicated. Now this stone on the wall will allow you to receive hints from Sahasrara. It's sort of a communication stone that he can use to communicate with you. And if you are ever lost for whatever reason, you can just go to one of these stones and possibly receive a hint as to where to go next. Let's see what he has to say. Doom, it is I, Sahasrara. I can talk to you telepathically when you touch these tiles. Here is a hint. You can use the treasure hidden in this palace to defeat armored foes. So basically, we receive the bow, and we can shoot arrows to, I don't know, pierce through armor, I suppose would be the logic. And indeed I do recall fighting the boss of this dungeon with a bow. Now, we do have access to this chest at this time. Well, access in the sense that we can approach the chest, but we can't actually open the chest. Can be a little bit confusing if I say access. I mean, access is... I mean, you can access the chest, but you cannot access what is contained within. So, in this game, you've got one key that opens the boss door and the chest at the same time. You only need one key for that. In the case of large chests in, like the dungeon item chests in future games, you don't need a key to open them, but you do need to kill a mini-boss in order to open the chest. In this game, once you've acquired the boss key, you can automatically open the chest, so it ends up being the case that you will often find the dungeon item chest, but you don't yet have the key to open it. So, I don't really know what I prefer between that and fighting a... actually, I think I can use pots to kill the green guys. There are green and red variants to this monster, and or this enemy. Again, if I ever say monster instead of enemy, it's because I play Monster Hunter, so an enemy is by default a monster. So every single time I play a game other than Monster Hunter, I have to teach myself, no, say enemy instead of monster, and then when I return to Monster Hunter, I call the monsters enemies. It's really freaking annoying, but anyway, that's my life. It has plagued me for the last 10 years. But, yeah, I guess we can get to that level fairly easily. We're about to find out. Now it looks like we're entering a dark area, so these things here can be destroyed with magic powder. I actually need to get magic powder. I think I could have technically acquired it before reaching this dungeon, but I forgot to do that. It's... you need to find a mushroom and give the mushroom to the witch in the forest, and if you return after... I don't really know what you're supposed to do in order to have time pass enough to receive what she's making with the mushroom. What she's making is, of course, the magic powder. But the key with that, and it's kind of funny, it tricked me a little bit last time I was playing. You think you have to talk to her to receive what she's making, but actually you don't. You have to go inside her hut and then speak to someone else to get what she made with that. So it's kind of silly, but, you know. Probably not enough to trip most people up, but it was enough to trip me up at the time. But if you throw magic powder on these things, they turn into fairies. And the reason why you would want to do that is to first and foremost eliminate the risk or the danger of them being in the room, because they can deal damage to you, and take your magic when they hit you. They're just kind of annoying in that way. In the case of turning them into fairies, I think the benefit of that is quite obvious beyond just removing the danger from the room. You can also fully heal yourself if necessary, and you can even put them in a bottle to use for later. And I believe it's in this game, it might be in the Minish Cap as well, but they actually have these enemies in places where you would otherwise not receive hearts from pots. So, for example, in confrontation scenarios, where it might be nice to have a full heal from time to time. It might even be in the Ganon fight, I can't really remember, but I do recall these enemies being used in that way as basically healing wares, or as a means to heal oneself during a confrontation, or even during a dungeon, you know. But that's the way they are often used, and so therefore it is very useful to have. Oh, this is... well, I'm not continuing up there at the very least. There is a way to move those things. I don't know exactly how. Oh, I can hit you. Okay. So it's the red ones that actually require the arrow to be killed. Or the bow to be killed. What is going on with you? I'm quite sure that 2 pots kills this thing. You're really quite beefy, aren't you? Aha, so with all enemies killed, I'm given access to this pot, and inside the pot is a key. We have already acquired the big key. It's not called the boss key in this game because it's not specific to the boss room. You can see that we have already happened upon 2 doors that require this key, so it's actually not the boss key, and I should really get out of the habit of calling it the boss key in this game. I call it the boss key just because the equivalent to that in later games is the boss key, but it's not used exclusively for the boss. Not only is it for multiple doors within the dungeon, as we can see, but it is also used to acquire the dungeon item. And in fact, we have just gone through a door that will take us straight to the dungeon item in question, or at the very least the chest that contains the dungeon item. Very linear dungeon, but actually there is somewhere else to go that we haven't yet been, I think. For instance, when we arrived at the beginning of the dungeon, we had 3 directions to go in. 1 out of the 3 leads to nowhere, it's basically a drop-off, and then 2 of them actually go through the dungeon. It might be helpful to go through the far right side, because that is the other direction that will progress through the dungeon in some way. I don't remember what's over there, but we didn't go over there, so yeah, I'd like to go there. Probably before we actually make our way through that door that we now have access to. This is crazy, these fucking things. God, they remind me of something, I can't think of what now, but where is the best way to go to get to that place that I was thinking of? By that I mean the right direction in the dungeon. I guess we'll just backtrack this way. Might be a weird thing to do, but I just want to be thorough. I don't want to miss anything. For instance, a piece of heart. I don't feel the need to pass up on any heart pieces at this time. I don't remember if there is one in this dungeon. I think there is. I think there's a fairly easy to get piece of heart, but it's also fairly easy to bypass entirely, because I believe that the right side of the dungeon that I was just talking about is actually optional. I could be remembering it wrong though. That's definitely possible. My words are not gospel, let me tell you. Why did you not die in 1 hit from that spin attack? Whatever. So here we are, back in this room. It's going to be a little annoying if this actually doesn't lead to anywhere important, because I have very much gone out of my way to backtrack to the first room, so crossing our fingers that it actually leads to something. Here we are. Oh shit. So it really was a case, I'm 100% sure, that I had done the exact same thing last time I was going through this dungeon. The reason why I think that there are other places to go in is because I'm getting confused with the Dark World version of this dungeon. Because in the Dark World version of the dungeon, you can actually go in 3 directions. So, yeah. The Dark World version of this dungeon is very similar visually, so there is a bit of an overlap in terms of my memory of this dungeon, which again is a bit annoying, but That's alright, I was being thorough. Nothing wrong with a bit of thoroughness. Alright. I do hope everything's going alright with the recording, because I don't really have anyone hanging around at the moment. Someone did upvote the video, but no one's been in the chat at all. It's alright. It's just as well that it's a Let's Play. Well, it's just as well that I am a Let's Player, because I don't necessarily need to communicate with people to enjoy a recording. But, yeah. It's just when it's live I do like to have people watching so that if anything does go wrong I can be alerted to that fact. Because if I don't get any feedback from viewers, it ends up being the case that something could go horribly wrong and then I wouldn't know for the entirety of the recording and then I'd have a shit recording, you know. That's really the reason why I need people. But, anyway. How are you going? I can kill you with the... Oh, you are resistant to pots. I don't know why I thought pots would work on you, but... Alright, come on. So, it seems that an arrow can one-shot those guys. Ooh, we might have reached our cap, guys. 400 might be the cap, if there is one. Wonder if we can confirm that. If it continues beyond 400, then I'll be a happy camper, but... I have a sneaking suspicion that 400 might be our limit at this stage. I will definitely keep an eye on it. Okay, big key, straight through. We are almost at the boss. We've only got a few more rooms to go. Just trying to take care of these things first. From memory, they hurt a lot when they hit you. They might not. Maybe I'm thinking of a different enemy again. Let's go and equip the lantern and use that, just to make it a little easier for us to deal with these enemies. I don't know if it's necessary. It is necessary to kill them because they drop a key. Alright, get over here. There we go. Aha. And I'll kill you as well for good measure. I didn't get anything from it, but hey. It's good to be thorough. Let's take the path of least resistance first. Aha, this is an optional rupee room. But you can end up taking damage in here if you're not careful. And it seems that I am indeed not at the cap, which is good. Because, well... I was sort of, you know, 50-50 on that as to whether or not I did have a cap at 400. I had a feeling that it was possible, but I also had a feeling there wouldn't be, so... Therefore, it is okay to say, indeed, there is no cap, because it does confirm a suspicion in my mind. It's a bit unfair, isn't it? It's like, well, you can't lose, can you, under those circumstances? Not that it's a competition as to whether or not Doom Link is right. Although it is a once-in-a-blue-moon occasion when Doom Link is right. Come on. Looks like I'm getting a restock on arrows. I mean, really, if you run out of arrows in this dungeon, something's seriously wrong. The reason why they're giving you so many arrows, even though you'd have to actually be insane to require the number of arrows they give you, is because the arrows are very important for the boss. So they don't want you to be short of arrows. Now, only one of these floor switches is the correct one, and we managed to get the right one. As in the correct one. Not right as in direction, but right as in correct. Thank you for making that clear, Doomlink. So, the way in which you can tell if you're approaching a boss confrontation in this game, usually, well, I say usually as in referring to the newer games, usually in the newer games, you can tell that you're approaching a boss confrontation because you will have the boss door. It requires the boss key to enter. In this game, you will have these tiles on the floor with the symbol that you're seeing here. I don't believe this symbol changes depending on the boss. I think that's just a generic symbol to indicate a boss confrontation. That's my memory of it. So, that's how you know you're about to fight a boss, in other words. Because again, there is no lock to the door. I'm not full of shit, I can assure you. The boss confrontation is literally here. You know how sometimes the boss room has a... Well, not the boss room itself, but when you open the door to the boss room, you don't actually immediately reach the confrontation. Sometimes you'll have a hole to fall down, there'll be like a little room, then you fall down the hole. That's quite common. This is one of those situations where you've got like a room in between the dungeon and the boss room. So, that's the reason why I'm not wrong, okay? Everyone's like, oh, Doom Link's wrong again, giving incorrect information. Take it easy. Alright. Not that anyone accuses me of being wrong on a regular basis. So again, this boss is much easier with arrows. I believe it takes 2 arrows to kill, oh no, 3 to kill each one. So if it takes 3 arrows to kill one of these things, imagine how long it takes to use a sword. You can do it with a sword. There's just no real reason to, you know. You can shoot the arrows much faster than I am here. There we go. Trying to... Go. And then when you've got one left, he's like this. Aha. So he actually homes in on one specific point where you previously were. If I could actually get on target, that'd be just delightful, wouldn't it? There we go. And there's our first heart container. I can't remember if it's 4 heart pieces for a heart container or 2 in this game. I think it's 4. I can't quite recall. But yeah, how about that? I mean, we're 26 minutes into the game. I didn't even start right at the dungeon, and I'm already done with the dungeon. I knew that I was actually going to get the dungeon finished in this video last time. Like when I was doing part 1, I said that I would easily get this dungeon complete in part 2, but I certainly wasn't expecting it to take like 15 minutes. So, there you go. You won the Pendant of Courage. Take it to Sahasrara. 2 pendants remain. To be honest, I could almost take on 2 dungeons in one video, I really could, but I don't know if I want to do that. There are probably other things for me to take care of, like for example the magic powder that I was talking about. Well, that's right, I could destroy these Armos statues fairly easily just like that. I'm guessing that would one-shot them. But let's return to Sahasrara and see what he wants. You can also use arrows just like that. I don't believe that these knights can actually block your arrows. Okay. So the best way to get to Sahasrara, I guess, is over here. Yep. And see what he has to say. Oh, you got the Pendant of Courage. Now I will tell you more of the legend. 3 or 4 generations ago, an order of knights protected the royalty of the Hylia. These knights of Hyrule were also guardians of the Pendant of Courage. Unfortunately, most of them were destroyed in the Great War against evil that took place, I guess, when the 7 wise men created their seal. Evil taking place is a weird way to... That might not be what it said, but that's what I read anyway. Among the descendants of the Knights of Hyrule, a hero must appear. It's very awkward to read because it has to scroll mid-sentence, and it's, yeah. It's fine if you're reading it in your head, but if you're reading it out loud, it is a little awkward. I see. Doom, I believe you. You should get the remaining pendants, and carry this with you. This is a treasure passed down by the families of the wise men. I want you to have it. Aha, that's how we get the Pegasus boots. He gives you the Pegasus shoes. Now you can execute a devastating dash attack. Alright. Might not need to call it devastating, but it is quite good. A helpful item is hidden in the cave on the east side of Lake Hylia. Get it. I see. So we are expected to receive that item from the Zoras. So I believe we have to pay for them. It's something like 700 rupees or something like that. So the fact that we currently are sitting on 500 rupees is not outside the calculations of the game, in the sense that we are expected to have this many, and possibly even more, because again, from memory, it's like 600 or 700 rupees to buy these Zora flippers, and you can only buy them, there's no other way to get them, so yeah, we do want these rupees. And I guess that confirms in my mind that the cap is effectively non-existent. You are able to hold as many rupees as the number of digits are present on the screen, so yeah. That's a good thing. Oh, that's annoying. My stream wouldn't show up on YouTube for you. I mean, I assumed it was something like that. Usually YouTube's a bit like that. But, well, not usually, but I will say that if no one's in the live stream after a long time, I can assume that it's just YouTube not delivering the video to you. You know what, it wouldn't surprise me, because I did a survey. YouTube creators were given the opportunity to conduct a survey, right? And the question that serves as the basis for the entirety of the survey is, how satisfied with YouTube, or how satisfied are you with YouTube as a video creation platform? And I answered, very dissatisfied. So I've probably been marked by YouTube now as a very dissatisfied creator. So they're probably not going to do me any favors, if you know what I mean. Now, you would think that if I were a very dissatisfied creator, they would do everything in their power to make me... Well, not everything in their power, but they wouldn't be inclined to make my experience even worse. But you never know. I did answer the final question, which was, how likely are you to stop making videos entirely on YouTube within the next 6 months? And I said, not very likely, so there you go. That means they can fuck me hardcore. But I doubt it has anything to do with that, personally. But it could be, you never know. What the hell are we doing? We apparently need the flippers, but my memory is that now that we have the Pegasus boots, we can acquire a few things that we couldn't acquire before. Should we make our way to Kakariko Village and go to that guy who runs away? I mean, I don't even know if I demonstrated the guy who runs away. Also, these are the Pegasus boots here. Don't know why I wasn't really showing them. The reason why I tried to move with the Pegasus boots like that was because the last time I used these was when I was playing the Minish Cap. Did I fuck that up? I totally did. That's so annoying. It's really easy for that to happen in this game. Well, whatever. But, yeah, in the Minish Cap, the Pegasus boots work a little differently. They do not... you can't really use them offensively like you can in this game. In this game, you stick your sword out in front and you basically use it like a lance. You just stick it into people as you run, and it's actually an effective means of offense, but... or an effective way of hurting people at the very least. And, yeah, that's not the case in the Minish Cap. Also in the Minish Cap, you can control your run while running. In this game, you run in one single direction, and if you try to change that at all, your run is cancelled. So, not a big deal. I'm not going to sit here and start getting annoyed about the lack of functionality of the Pegasus boots in A Link to the Past, but yeah. Late 2D era was the best era of Zelda. I would probably agree. I mean, this would be early 2D era, and a lot of people do say that this is the best of all the Zelda games. So, but for me personally, I would say that the best 2D Zelda game would be the Minish Cap, and that was the late 2D era, so I suppose I'd have to agree with you, Potato. But the guy that I was talking about is just over here. You want a good run-up with him, though. Let's get him. What the fuck is that? I think what we're supposed to do, I understand. So if we trigger his run, while we are in the process of running, it cancels our run. And that's really annoying, but... basically they make it so that you don't just automatically catch him if you happened to be running in this direction. There we go. I can't believe you caught me. With your speed, it must have been easy to kidnap Zelda. Yeah, exactly. Where do you think I would put her, honestly? You don't look like such a bad guy, though. Anyway, because you have such quick feet, it might be a good idea to run and bash into many things. For example, the trees in this village have many useful things hanging in their branches. Well, just try it, okay? I've always had it in my head that this guy gives you something when you catch up to him. But he doesn't, he just gives you a hint, which is to bash into trees, which isn't a bad hint, but... yeah. Or tip, I guess, as opposed to hint. A Link Between Worlds is basically a remake of A Link to the Past. It's similar enough that you can basically directly compare them. Well, it's similar enough to compare them, but it's different enough to be a game on its own. So, yeah, that's the reason why it's called A Link Between Worlds. It is intended to be like a modern reimagining? Yeah, I think that's the word I'm looking for. Of this game. So, how does it compare? It's alright, it's a decent game. I enjoyed it at the time. They had an interesting system where you could actually go inside the wall and use that as a means of getting around dungeons and even accessing strange things. So, yeah, it was an interesting mechanic, and I thought it was interesting just in general that they would bring something like that into top-down Zelda. Ambitious, I suppose, is the way I would refer to it. They could have just made something simple, but they chose to add that, which was pretty good. Alright. So, again, I don't know if I have enough rupees to get these Zora flippers, but my guess is that I don't. How do I get more rupees? Oh, that's right, now that I have... Oh, I'm so stupid. Now that I have the Pegasus boots, I can actually get that piece of heart that I was trying to get before I went to the dungeon. Strange. I went to all the trouble of going to Kakariko Village when I could have just done that minigame. I mean, I literally went past the minigame area, and I didn't even think to go there. Now that I have the Pegasus boots. But yeah, I would recommend playing A Link Between Worlds. It's not directly comparable to the Link's Awakening remake, because the Link's Awakening remake was entirely faithful to Link's Awakening. That's why they called it Link's Awakening. Oh, and I can also access the Book of Mudora, which we actually require to access the next dungeon. How about that? Let's go grab that. I'm glad I'm remembering what I need to do. You found the Book of Mudora. You can use it to read the ancient language of the Hylia. So yeah, if A Link Between Worlds was a remake of A Link to the Past, it would be called A Link to the Past, and it's not. It's very similar though. It's a reimagining of it, so. Let's make our way over here. And this is where the minigame is. We can go and get a piece of heart. I will, of course, do 100% in this game, in this Let's Play, but I'm not desperate to get all pieces of heart whenever I reach them, because I do want to experience an element of just sitting here and playing. I don't want to be referring to walkthroughs or anything like that. Insofar as acquiring heart pieces, it's not very fun, so I will take recordings to just go and get all pieces of heart that I can acquire at the time when I'm doing the recording. But outside of that, I'm not going to be using any walkthroughs or anything like that. Come on. So we don't actually have to use the Pegasus boots just yet, but we will want to use them right here. This is where you save all the time. This should get us here. Oh, exactly 15 seconds. That's sufficient, right? You qualified. Congratulations. I present you with a piece of heart. Thank you. Aha, so it is 2 heart pieces to get a full heart container in this game. I had a feeling, but I wasn't entirely sure. Does Link have pink hair? No, it's part of his hat. It does look as if he has pink hair. But, yeah. I don't know if you can... If you check online, search A Link to the Past, and maybe A Link to the Past link. Type that in Google Images and you'll get some promotional art for A Link to the Past with like a properly drawn Link, and you should see pink shit on his hat. That would be my guess. I can't remember that clearly, but yeah, it's his hat, in other words. It's not actually his pink hair. It would be weird for him to have pink hair though. Anyway. So I'm going to make my way over here. I really don't think I have enough rupees, so what I'm going to take care of for now, at the very least, is the magic powder that I was talking about before. Because the sooner I do that, the better, because again, we're supposed to pass time or something. By the way, if you do take on those arrow shooting knights, you can actually have your arrow clash with the arrow that's shot from their bow, so they can actually shield against your arrow effectively in doing so. So when I said the knights can't actually block your arrow, that's for the most part true, except for that scenario I just mentioned. So an archer can block your arrows, basically, but no other. Knight can do that. I suppose yes, I can see where the hut is, in fact, on the map. I won't bother trying to describe that to you. Is this the Linkle everyone was talking about? No. I regret to say that it is not. I mean, I have no qualms about a female Link. I think that's kind of cool. Not insofar as being gender inclusive, I don't think that's necessary at all. You know, it's a fucking male character, get over it. But I like the general idea of having a female Link, and the only reason why I'm opposed to it, having said that, is because I think the name Linkle is ridiculous. So, yeah, that's the main issue. I don't even know if that's a real name. Is it? Is Linkle an actual female name that exists in the world? I really don't know. That can't hurt. Alright. Aha, so this creature here you do not want to hit with the sword. He looks rather harmless, doesn't he? Well, he's not. If you hit him with a sword, he will electrocute you, so you need to kill him with pretty much anything that doesn't require you to swing your sword. So one way to kill him is by throwing your boomerang and stunning him, and then hitting him with a sword. Or you can just shoot him with an arrow and kill him straight up. So I can't remember where this mushroom is. There's apparently a mushroom in a tree, although I can't even fucking access that. There's a mushroom in a tree, and I can't remember where the fucking tree is that has the mushroom. Oh my god. It's not this one, is it? No, it's not that one. Yes, I did finish Twilight Princess. That has been taken care of. This is really frustrating. I do not know where that fucking mushroom is. I caught a fairy, yes I have indeed. You will notice that the spelling of fairy is the correct spelling of fairy because I'm playing the PAL version. It's fairy with an E, as opposed to an I. So if we check that out, fairy. That's how you spell it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English language. Okay, so I don't believe we can actually access the Zora area until we have the ability to lift stuff. So what that would mean to me is that we actually need to go to the dungeon at wherever that location is, just over here. Yeah, I guess the flippers are not required, so that's good to know. The Book of Mudora was required, so I'm glad that I went and got that, but yeah, it looks like we're not getting the flippers just yet, which is fine, because we do need more rupees anyway. I just need to remember which frickin' tree in the world holds the mushroom that I need to give to the woman. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Oh, that's right, I'm being stupid. I don't have the flippers. Silly Doomling. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a playable Zelda, personally. I think that would be pretty cool. I want a game other than Zelda's Adventure where we play as Zelda, that would be great. Just have a world where Link doesn't exist, you know, for some reason, you know, something goes wrong. I mean, how fucking hard is it for Nintendo to go, oh, how about we have a timeline where Link, for some reason, isn't born, the hero doesn't arrive, so Zelda has to take it upon herself to do all this. Now, they technically did that story-wise with Breath of the Wild. I don't really know the story of Breath of the Wild, but as I understand it, Zelda took it upon herself to go and fight Calamity Ganon. Well, I don't really care about that, because that's just part of the story. I want to actually be playing as Zelda and have her be the main protagonist, the hero of the story, which she must become because Link isn't around at all. It would be great, because it would be a head nod to the people who've played the series, you know, they'll have references to the hero and how he never arrived, as the legend said, so yeah, Zelda just has to bite the bullet and do it herself, and we are the ones who go on that journey. There's no point having that story and then have us not take the journey personally. I think it would be ridiculous. Now these crabs are fucking nightmarish, because I believe they deal 2 full hearts of damage to you if they manage to hit you. Maybe even 3. I don't think it's 3. I think 3 is a bit overkill. But I believe it is 2 hearts of damage when they hit you, so it's pretty bad. Whoa. So those are health recovery items, but yeah, I really don't know where that frickin' mushroom is. Should I just check online to see where the mushroom is? It's not entirely important, it's just I've got no idea where it is, so I'm going to quickly check. Mushroom. Where is it? Of course I can't see it from the Google search screen. It is found in the northwestern part of the Lost Woods. Right. Excuse me. So we can go and get that now fairly easily. I'd totally forgotten where it was. I never would have gone to the Lost Woods looking for it. But now that I know that that's where it is, I do have a memory of it. It's usually how that works, you know. You have to remind yourself of these things. Okay. So where are we in relation to... I mean, it's the northwestern part, right? So we want to make our way. Well, where would we want to go in? The northwestern part is where the Master Sword is, so... I don't know. Can we access it? Northwestern. Well, how about we try accessing it from over here? Maybe this will work. We're about to find out. I think we want to continue over here, then go up here. Maybe this will take us to where we want to go. Actually, I have a distinct feeling that we can't access it from here. I think we need to lift something. Am I correct? Fuck off! Just go away, I hate these things. These knights are a goddamn nuisance. There are too many of them, and they're always fucking around with me. Nuisance. Okay. Am I too far on this side? I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I think the mushroom is going to be over here. I think this is going to take us into the north. Yeah, here we go. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to go so far north at all. Reach the tree in question. I hope that I can, but... That's not actually the Master Sword. That's a fake Master Sword, and they do this little thing where they're like, oh, you got the Master Sword, and then they're like, oh wait, no, it's a fake. Now, I think that is accessing the Master Sword. Yeah, so this is where the Master Sword is. I may as well show you it. That's the Master Sword right there. Now, we can't pull it yet because we do not have in our possession the 3 magic stones that represent the 3 pieces of the Triforce, in later games at the very least. But I believe if we can access the Master Sword, then we can access the tree that will give us the mushroom. I mean, we might have even... Oh. It's not even in a tree. Why did I think it was in a tree? Oh my god, okay. Well, we found the frickin' mushroom, that's what's important. We can probably get out from here, to be honest. I think there's another thief around here. By the way, if the thief does manage to attack you, he steals your rupees. And it's kind of bad. This is a thieves' hideout, I believe. What do you have to say for yourself? Hey kid, this is a secret hideout for a gang of thieves. Don't enter without permission. By the way, I heard that one of our ex-members is staying at the entrance to the desert. Okay. Well, I just entered without permission. I hope you don't get too upset. Oh, that's right. We can actually access a piece of heart. The way we do this is by dropping down a hole that is just above the entranceway over here. And by above, I mean, you know, north. That's what I mean by above. I think we can drop down here, and this will give us the piece of heart. So now we have a new heart container. I'm glad I was snooping around. What? Oh, I must have... What? What does that even mean? Does that mean that I had already acquired 2 pieces of heart before I got that one from the minigame? I don't recall acquiring 2 heart pieces. That's so weird. Okay. Am I going crazy? I don't remember getting... How is that my 3rd? That's odd. Okay. When was my first one? Would have been in the first video. Oh, I remember where it was. It was in Kakariko Village, yeah. I remember that now. At least I think so. Yeah, seems about right to me. Alright, I think we can get out through the eastern exit from here, so let's give that a try. Do we go up? No. It's another fake Master Sword. You can take my word for it now because you've seen the real one. Okay. You can get out through here, that works just as well. There is a much farther east exit. It's further north of where we are. But, yeah, I think with that, we can, well, no, what we'll do first is actually go and talk to the woman. I can't quite remember how to pass time with her. Oh, this might be another heart piece. We'll see what happens. I can cross my fingers for it. Hey, there's a heart container. Very good to see. Okay. So... what was I saying? That's right, I don't know how to pass time with her because we can't immediately get the potion from... well, not the potion, but rather the powder from her when we give her the mushroom. Oh shit. That was not what I wanted to do. Oh, that doesn't sound very good, Potato. You have a good sleep. Or at least attempt to. Alright, give me the rupee. Okay, so we give the old woman the mushroom. The woman with the big nose. The smell of rotten fruit. If you give me that mushroom, I can finish my brew, haha. Did I give you the mushroom? Oh. Supposed to do this, I guess. There we go. Thank you, young man. Come back to the shop later for something good, haha. I think I can just... I think what I can do is I can leave, come back, leave, come back. I think that's how you pass time. We'll do it one more time. And that should do the trick. Hopefully. Again, the trick, for me, it probably doesn't trick your average player, but it definitely tricked me. You actually want to go inside the shop to receive the powder. You don't talk to her again. There we go, there's the fucking powder. You might even only need to leave the screen once, you know. Hello. Red is the medicine of life, green is the medicine of magic. Blue renews both life and magic. Here, taste a sample of the red potion, heh. Okay, well I already had full health, so that wasn't really helpful. I believe there are 4 bottles in the game. Oh, no, there might even be more. Because it looks like there's space for more than another 2, so... Anyway, we've got the magic powder, let's make our way to the next dungeon. We're doing alright for time, we can probably get to the next dungeon and then finish up. I think that's what we'll do. So as far as how to get there... Well, what I could actually do, this is one way to... This is your means of fast travel in this game. What I can actually do is press select, I can save and quit, and then I can launch here and start from my house. And just like that... Oh, that's right, I need to get some hearts. You always start with 3 or... No, was that 4? Yeah, 4 hearts, okay. Thought you started with 3. You always start with... Or is it... No, I don't know, let's just... I was thinking maybe it's always like a percentage of health as opposed to like a specific number of hearts. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, because I can't remember. But, yeah. You don't start with full health when you start from your house, that's all I can say. So it is often necessary to go and... Oh, fuck off. Damn bird. Oh, God. But yeah, it is necessary to lift the pots in your room to gain health each time you start. Doesn't always bring you to full though. Stop it. We'll be able to deal with all the water features later on. For now, we are continuing through here so that we can get to that desert area. And again, we will be using the Book of Mudora to access the dungeon itself. I think the Book of Mudora can also access a piece of heart. Now this guy, He's one of the more time-consuming heart pieces in the game, or he gives you something, I can't remember what it is. Might be a special item. But, yeah, he gives you something. And it's a little more time-consuming than some of the other things you have to do in the game. I don't know if this is our way forward. No, doesn't seem to be. Yeah, fully heal me. It's very nice of you. Thanks, lady. Fairy lady. Alright. So now we are in the desert. We actually sort of get attacked by this vulture thing. He will circle around you, so what you want to do is you want to catch up to his circle drawing. Creepy mudman. Creepy mudman. Well, I probably... See, I'm vaguely remembering something other than the dungeon that requires the Book of Mudora, but it might be for later on in the game when we have access to the Dark Realm. It's possible. Oh. Alright, I'm killing this vulture. Very good. Okay, so... yeah, I think... yeah, so this over here, that's for later on. That over there. Okay. Oh, there's a piece of heart there. Now, we can access that while we go through the dungeon. You can see that there is an exit point from the dungeon that leads over here. So we'll try to keep that in mind for the next video. Now... that's a good point. I will have to manually come back here. But that's alright, I'm not really that concerned. So I'm actually going to open the way in the next recording, because I'm not going to be taking on this dungeon here in this video. So it would be better for me to save this for the next recording so that it's more of an epic beginning to the next dungeon. But yeah, I do thank you all for watching. This has been Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Part 2. We managed to take care of the first dungeon of the game, and we acquired 2 new heart containers, and also got the magic powder, which is going to be, well, it's probably going to be useful in this dungeon. I'm pretty sure that it will be. Anyway, I will see you in Part 3. Bye bye.